talking about Paul? Yeah, I talked a little bit today. I said, what was talking?
That's so funny. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to sit down, but then you're going to be getting right back up here pretty soon. I'm gonna welcome everyone to our regular council meeting, and before we get started with our Councilman Schmidt will present a commendation to Coach John Gross and the members of the University of Akron men's basketball team for their outstanding 2024-2025 season. Come on up.
Congratulations, fellas. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, guys. What great games. Oh, goodness, I was watching it. The one against Miami, and poor Coach Gross, his brother coached Miami, and then, he's got to put up with that. Unbelievable. Hey, everybody in the room, how many in the room attended University of Akron? Please raise your hand.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that, gang. So, as important as athletics are, school's important as well. And we've all been fairly successful with our education at University of Akron. So, Coach, if you'll come on up here and stand and hold this, I'll read the proclamation.
Okay, thank you.
Whereas excellence means greatness, the very best. Achieving excellence is never. Come on up here, guys. Stand back here.
You want us to face that direction? Or
Yeah,
this one?
because
Okay.
where the camera
I
is.
guess we're half and half. Camera's there.
Right.
Camera's
Right.
there. Okay. So we'll
Right.
face that way, guys.
Whereas excellence means greatness, the very best. Achieving excellence is never easy to do. Excellence is a quality that people really appreciate because it's so hard to find. Excellence is the quality of excelling, of being truly the best and something at something. And whereas the 24-25 University of Akron men's basketball team was truly one of the best in the school history, finishing the season with a 28-7 record, including an undefeated 16-0 record at home and a 17-1 record in the Mid-American Conference, including a thrilling come-from-behind victory 76-74 over Miami to capture the program's 6th Mid-American Conference tournament title and 7th NCAA tournament berth at Rocket Arena on Saturday, March 15th. And whereas on December 30th, the Zips were an ordinary 7-5 after a close 76-75 loss at Princeton. They didn't lose again for nearly 2 months, winning 14 straight games since the calendar turned to 2025 when their streak was snapped with an 84-67 loss at Ohio University on February 22nd. Akron picked right back up and didn't lose again, winning their last 7 games and taking both the MAC regular season championship and then winning the MAC tourney, getting the automatic NCAA tourney bid. They defeated 8th seeded Bowling Green 96-67 in the first round, 4th seeded Toledo 190 in the semifinal, and number 2 seed Miami for the championship. The Zips earned the 13th seed in the NCAA's March Madness, where they faced 4th seeded University of Arizona in the first round in the West Regional in Seattle, Washington. And whereas Akron was led by Coach John Gross, who entered his 8th season at Akron with a 140-81 overall record. Wow. Unbelievable. Under Gross, the Mid-American Conference play in 52-22 over the last 3 years, owning the best winning percentage, 743 in the league. While the season ended with a loss to Arizona in the NCAA West Regional, the team had an excellent campaign, setting several program records, including most wins in the regular season. Coach Gross was named the Hugh Durham National Mid-American Coach of the Year. And whereas the team led in scoring this season by redshirt junior Nate Johnson. Is Nate here? Okay. Nate Johnson. And I lost my place. Okay. 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. And junior Tavaria Johnson, is he here?
Tavaria's here.
Tavaria, there you are. Wow. Whew. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Taveri Johnson, 13 points, 4 assists. Senior post, James Okonowo, led, what is it?
I'll help you.
Okay. Who is it? Is he here? Okay. Thanks, you guys. I'm sorry. Who led the team in rebounding with 7 rebounds per game. Junior power forward, Amani Lyles. No.
Class. Some of these guys have class, and some of them just aren't here.
That's good. That's better that they're at class.
got-
8 points and 5 rebounds, led the team in block shots, and the team had outstanding play from senior Isaiah Gray. No?
Class.
All right. 10 points, 5 rebounds. Shama Scott, 9 points, 46 3-pointers. And Seth Wilson? Jeez. Okay, 6 points, 53 report. Joshua Harrison. Okay. Now therefore be it known by all and declared by the Council of the County of Summit, State of Ohio, that Council commends Coach John Gross and the 24-25 University of Akron men's basketball team on their determination, teamwork, and exceptional effort in winning the Mid-American Conference Championship and advancing to the NCAA basketball tournament. It is with great pleasure that we wish them the best in their future endeavors. We urge all citizens to join in celebrating this 28th day of April in the year 2025. Congratulations, fellas. Congratulations, you guys. Danny O. All right, fellas.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Would you like to say a few words, Coach?
Yeah, real quick. We have a great group. Obviously, some of them are here, some of them aren't due to other circumstances. We had 16 guys that were bought into caring about each other and caring about winning both on and off the court. And I will tell you that we take a lot of pride in representing the city. A lot of pride. And thank you for all you do to make the city better. So we appreciate it. Go Zips.
Well, let's get a picture.
Coach,
do it.
Coach, do
Yes.
you have anybody else that you want to have come up and get in the picture?
That's up to you. You guys can have as many people as you
No,
want.
no, I didn't know if there was
Anybody want
somebody
a picture?
from.
Come on up.
No, I didn't know if that young, yeah, do
We
you
took
want
some
to?
pictures with him earlier.
Okay,
We did.
yes,
Yeah, we did.
all right.
Go
No,
ahead, here
I
we
thought
go.
maybe somebody was here. No, behind.
Thank you.
right,
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Love you guys.
Thanks, fellas. So cool. Especially that game against Miami.
Thanks again.
That game against Miami, that was that great.
Appreciate you. Thanks
Coach,
again.
appreciate
Thanks,
you.
guys.
All right.
I think that's pretty cool.
Go Zips.
Thank you, Madam President.
And then next on our caucus, before we get started, we're going to have Pamela would like to come up and speak about a couple pieces before us tonight. Pamela, remember you have 3 minutes.
It just makes me really glad to see young people being successful, and I hope they learn the art of the game and what it means so they can use it for life. I am interested in Resolution 2025-129 because I was help cleaning the city of Akron with a couple of the council members, and I would like to have this legislation make property owners and landowners more accountable for our land. It was filthy. And I would like to see some legislation, and some of the things you can do would be when people do litter, make them come clean up. You don't need to put them in jail. Just make them clean the area where they make it filthy. And 2025-117, May 2025 is Mental Health Awareness Month. Without being an offense to anybody, when I left here last week, I just wanted to make a statement that mental health medications do not heal mental illness. They are an experiment. I want us to learn how to get to the root of people's circumstances so they don't have to be medicated to end up on other type of medications and drugs, street drugs, because it causes another dilemma in their lives, and it has side effects. And I know doctors are seeking solutions and answers, and psychiatrists really want to know what to do. but I think we need to be finding more remedies to find the cure of why people do what they do. A lot of it has to do with genealogy and heritage and their family backgrounds and that type of thing, and cycles and generational things. So I would like for us to look for more into that. And I want us to remember that Ohio is voting on the budget right now. If you can't go put something in writing, I want to end this violence in our country, in our state, in our county, and in our city. I want you to vote, send some of your concerns on these budgets. You don't have to be married to matter. You don't have to do all the big fancy things that other people do to matter. But your vote and your voice matter on that budget. And I just wanted to just encourage you to do that. And we'll be celebrating Women's Day at Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church. And we're also discussing mental health and the biblical concept of mental health on Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock at our prayer time. If you'd like to come, it's at 1241 Grant Street. And Reverend Curtis Mentor is the pastor. His wife is Lady Tamiko Mentor. You all have a good meeting, and thank you for honoring those children. And I pray that they stay on the path. Have a good evening.
Thank you. We have Bill Zawiski from Ohio EPA will provide a brief update to council on the Gorge Dam project. Hello, sir.
Hello, I'm Bill Zawiski with the Ohio EPA, and I first wanted to say thank you. Back in April of 2016, you passed a resolution supporting the Gorge Dam, and I just want to let everyone know it is going forward. Hopefully tomorrow, day after, we are going to have a press release about that, and May 19th will be our next citizen public meeting at the Akron Library downtown to give project updates. But after some challenges, it is moving forward, and I just want to say thank you for your support. If there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. Simple ones. I wasn't great when this started.
Wait, Jeff.
Hey, Bill, the timeline,
Yes.
Are you guys pretty much still on the timeline you'd originally hoped for, or has that
Well,
been impacted?
well, depending on which timeline, when this first started, we're a little over it. So right now, the anticipated timeline is we're in the second phase of this project. If you remember, there was the studies and the design. We're past that now. We are ready to start the sediment removal. So ideally, next month, real soon, they're going to start gearing up on mobilizing at the site, and hopefully in late summer, fall, they'll start actually removing some of the sediment. So,
And am I right that the river's going to be lowered 45 feet? Is that?
not initially. So the dam pool, everything is going to be exactly the same. They're going to have a barge on there that's going to excavate the material that's accumulated behind the dam. Once that is managed, that's phase 2. The phase of removal is the third phase, and that will probably be, in a perfect world, 3.5 to 4 years from now. But obviously, with weather patterns and still potential funding, I mean, funding is secured for this part. So we're going to progress with the removal of sediment.
That was going to be my question, is if the Great Lakes Fund always being the kind of budget political
Sure.
soccer ball that it is, if there was any more discussion about, like, or anybody's committed to funding phase 3 from the Great Lakes.
Well, there is, so the city of Akron is the sponsor and going to be the project manager for that removal. So that's been secured. They've already got, I believe we're at 90% design for the removal. They want to wait and integrate it into what's going to happen with sediment. But you're right. There's always a chance. I mean, luckily, the Great Lakes has had support, but that is always something that could happen. But got a few years. I'm not panicking about that. I think we're going to be okay.
And I'll just add for my colleagues who haven't seen the news, during their last kind of fishing and fish inspection in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park, they found silver red horse,
Mhm.
which is probably in large part due to appreciated the work of Bill and others to take with dam remediation, all the work to clean up the river. It's a really great milestone to see more, otters back in the river for the first time as of this summer too, so. It's exciting to see.
Yeah, sturgeon are back too. They've started stocking sturgeon. They used to spawn at the base of the Great Falls historically.
Councilwoman Beth?
So how much longer until we can still have?
We're going to talk about that at the public meeting, so if you have some hiking to do, I strongly suggest you get it in Toot Sweet. Yeah, no, and it will be just out of safety. I know the Metro Parks, that's part of what the press release that hopefully is going to come out, it's going to kind of detail some of that, so I don't know 100% what their plans are, but there will be closures for safety. And that's for the Metro Parks will figure that out, and that'll.
Probably for the entirety of the project then?
Yes. Or whatever they determine is appropriate for safety. They're also doing some sewer work at the same time, so if you hike down, there are always some sewers that were, those are going to be addressed by working with the city of Akron. So Cuyahoga Falls and Akron are working together to eliminate some of those sewers flowing through the park. So we're already going to have things disturbed. They're going to try and address it at that time.
It'll be really nice to everyone who lives on Riverside Drive there because they're getting their sewers in front of their house and stuff, and they're leaving things happening behind their house with the.
It's going to be a busy couple.
Hey, Bill, do you know offhand, during the first presentation, and I have fishermen talk to me all the time that have to go to Conneaut, the Grand River, and so forth. They wanted to know something about the steelhead that may be coming through. Have you heard anything on that?
Well, they've stocked steelhead. Steelhead so it's a non-native fish that's a sport fish that is stocked in various rivers. Yes, they've been actually migrating up the Cuyahoga for years.
Steelhead, really?
Oh yeah, and then there used to be a dam, the State Route 82 under there, that dam. They've even jumped that, and up in Yellow Creek and Furnace Runs, they were spawning in there occasionally. So they would get up, but now it's like the silver red horse. That was a fish that would have never jumped the dam. So now they do have a much easier way of it, and so you'll start seeing them. They won't be able to jump the historic Great Falls. That'll be where they stop, but I don't doubt that they'll be seeing them up there.
Yes.
Bill, I just want to thank you for all you do. We're lucky to have you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
No,
Well, thank you. So we'll hope to see a healthier Cuyahoga River.
Thank you. Bill Montgomery's going to have finance and budget for us next week, okay? There are no motions. There are 17 first readings. There are 4 first reading passage requests. 2025123, Marvin Evans is here to address council.
Good afternoon. Marvin Evans with the Executive's Office, Law Department. And I do have, just so you know, Rachel Bridenstine is here for the Summit County Development Finance Authority because she's a part of, her organization will be a part of this, and Caitlin Elrad with the Development Department, if you have any additional questions. So the background on this is that Summit County, in conjunction with Richland County and Stark County, formed what's called a Joint Office of Economic Development back in 2019 to take over the administration of a Foreign Trade Zone 181. Prior to that time, it was an outside organization, and it had been operated by the Akron-Canton Airport at one time. Then there was a not-for-profit that was also came in after that time that was administering this. I think that's before my time. There was issues with it. Summit County and the other 2 counties decided to take that over. In 2019, the Foreign Trade Zone Board in Washington approved it at that time. And then a new administrator came in, I think it was in 2023. She looked at it and said, gee, I don't think that the counties can do this legally. So we had asked, well, will you take a prosecutor's opinion to, say, because we thought that I had done a lot of analysis to say, no, we do have the authority. And she wouldn't accept a prosecutor's opinion. She says, well, you got to get a attorney general's opinion to say you even have the authority to do this. The attorney general's been sitting on it for well over a year now. And so we came to a point where we've actually lost a few companies to the Cleveland Port Authority for these trade zones. So we made a decision to transfer it to the DFA, who has explicit statutory authority to be what's called the subzone grantee. So this is going to allow the JOED to transfer it to the DFA. And the reason we're coming to you is that the JOED documents that were put together by the 3 counties explicitly says if there's a major change in what they're doing, they've got to get legislative authority from the 3 counties. So that's why we're here. We've already met, actually Rachel and I went down to Richland County a few weeks ago. Then we had a conference call with Stark County, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. Richland County's already passed their legislation. We're waiting for Stark. If they do or don't, 2 out of the 3 can do it. So even if Stark doesn't do it, as long as I got 2 out of the 3, we're good to go. But we want to try to get it done as soon as possible, because there are some other companies out there, especially with all the tariff stuff. We don't know if this could be really a bigger advantage for companies that may really need this type of support. So any questions as to what this is? What the heck is this thing?
Do we have any questions?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next is 2025124. Craig Stanley is here to address council.
Evening. Craig Stanley, Executive Shapiro's Department of Administrative Services. So we put out, this is to tear down the state road facility. We're currently doing environmental removal and stuff, asbestos and some lighting issues and things like that. So we had a lot of interest in this project. There was like 65 folks that looked at it. We got 12 bids back, and we're recommending Eagle as the lowest responsible bidder under state local preference, because the other company was out of state, and they're up in Cuyahoga County. The references are really solid. So,
Is there any questions? John?
Craig, offhand, the $250,000 already was handled for the asbestos removal, right? Then they'll come in and do the demolition.
Yeah.
Correct? On the 425, is that our share? Or
No, our
do we
share is
charge
like
25% of that?
25% of that will be our share. Yeah, I got it here. It's like 158, 250 will be our share.
So initially, we thought we were going to put out 500,000, and we're in the 300,000.
The grant we awarded was 1.5 million. I think, what was the engineer's estimate on this one?
1.1.
Yeah, so we came in way under on both bids.
Yeah, way under.
And the 250 that we're spending on the asbestos removal, is that county's funds, or is that our portion of state?
We got 25% of that.
25%
We
of
pay
it.
25% of the 250?
Yeah.
Oh, that's real good. I thought it was our outlay, okay? And the reason for the rush is because something to do with the extension of state?
Yeah. The grant was expiring and stuff, and we were going down to the wire with a different developer and stuff. And after that, all completely fell through, and then we pushed forward with the grant. We already took care of the water towers were part of this grant at Edwin Shaw, and they're already down and gone. And so what this does real quick now is when this is all done, we turn in all our paperwork to the land bank. They send it to the state. State cuts the check to the land bank, and I believe they pay us. Then is how that works.
So we
yeah.
pay 25% of the 250 and 25% of the 4.
Yes.
That's a good job. Okay. I thought we were putting out 600,000 here.
It could have been if the original numbers would have,
On the
you know,
1-1.
right,
Yeah.
but the numbers came in way better, so,
Thank you.
yep.
And Craig,
Yeah.
the plan then is to have a vacant parcel on State Road, which can be sold, or what's?
Yeah, it can be sold, right. There was interest in the vacant parcel from,
Yes, we have had previously expressed some interest in the vacant parcel. I think probably next steps then is to sit down with both the land bank, the city of Cuyahoga Falls, and we may revisit some of those folks who had interest, but from there we'll figure out what the process is, how we want to move forward with doing something with that property, and what interest there is now that it's vacant property versus property that would need a lot of money sunk into it to do something with it.
I would say, just from a land standpoint, that we'll recover, if not more, of our money.
It's a little over an acre, the lot, so you can do a few things with that.
Yeah, it's in a good location.
It's a real good spot, yeah.
Thanks for the
Thank you.
explanation.
Thank you.
Is there any further questions? Okay, moving on.
Thanks, Arlen.
Thanks, Mr. Stanley. Liz, you okay with those two? Next is 2025125, Lori Pesci. I didn't even see you, Lori. Is there?
Good evening,
You're
Lori
hiding back
Pesci,
there.
Executive's Office, Department of Public Safety. This resolution is to accept funding and process the sublease amendment for the community-based correctional facility. That facility is operated, the cost to operate and maintain that facility is borne by the Department of Rehabilitation and Correction. And so they are going to give us $802,000 to do some improvements on flooring, the paging systems, security door controls, roofing, and renovating the showers, and asking for first reading passage in order to process all the documents required for this and allow Craig's team to start the bidding process for the upgrades.
Okay, is there any questions? No? Erin, you okay with this? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is 2025126, Phil Montgomery will address council.
Thank you, Madam President. Phil Montgomery from Executive Shapiro's Department of Finance and Budget. We have before council this cycle's appropriation legislation. The first three items are appropriation adjustments for the Common Pleas Court. Lori Pesci and her staff on the Department of Public Safety has been working closely with the Common Pleas Court to shore up and reconcile some of their grants. So there's some appropriation adjustments that needed to be done to do that. The next one is under property and casualty insurance. We're adding an additional $300,000 to cover the increase in our insurance premium for this year. The next one is a grant revenue adjustment for EMA that they requested. It's just the revenue side. On the last page, we have appropriations for a change order for the Department of Sanitary Sewer Services. We have an appropriation adjustment for the Domestic Relations Court between two line items, and the last one is an appropriation for the engineer for traffic engineering and safety study. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Does anybody have any questions? Thanks, Phil. John, you okay with that?
Yes.
There are no late filings. Routine legislation found on pages 6 through 9. There is one second reading. There are no third readings. Please rise for the pledge led by Councilman Joseph Cajun, followed by a moment of silence. Roll call.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Ms. Hyam?
Here.
Mr. Donofrio?
Here.
Mr. Cajun?
Here.
Ms. Dickinson? Here. Mr. Ford?
Here.
Mr. Wilhite?
Here.
Ms. Darrow?
Here.
Mr. Lacotte?
Here.
Ms. McKinney?
Here.
Ms. Walters?
Here. Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the minutes on April 14, 2025? I have a motion. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
First readings, 2025-123. A resolution approving the transfer of the grant of authority for Foreign Trade Zone 181 from the Northeast Ohio Joint Office of Economic Development to the Summit County Development Finance Authority and authorizing the dissolution of the Northeast Ohio Joint Office of Economic Development after such transfer is approved by the U.S. Department of Commerce, Foreign Trade Zones Board, emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and approve 2025-123.
I have a motion to suspend and adopt 2025-123 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-124, a resolution authorizing the executive, subject to the approval of the Board of Control, to execute a construction contract with Eagle Abatement and Demolition Limited Liability Company for demolition of the building and attached parking deck located at 2525 State Road in the city of Cuyahoga Falls in Council District 2 in an amount not to exceed $425,000, funded through a grant award from the Ohio Department of Development's Building Demolition and Site Revitalization Program with a 25% grant match for the Executive's Department of Administrative Services Physical Plants Emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-124.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-124 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-125, a resolution authorizing the executive to execute an Ninth Amendment to the agreement of sublease with the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction pertaining to the finance of capital improvements to the Summit County community-based correctional facilities for the executive's Department of Public Safety Emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-125.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-125 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-126, a resolution appropriating funds in order to meet projected expenditures for the balance of 2025 as set forth in Exhibit A for the Executive's Department of Finance and Budget Emergency.
Madam President, move to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-126.
I have a motion to suspend the rules and adopt 2025-126 on the suspension. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
2025-127, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a construction contract with Geauga Highway Company for the Steubens, Farnham, and Hecker Drainage and Roadway Improvement Project located in Richfield Township and Council District 1 in an amount not to exceed $140,497.20 for the engineer emergency. 2025-128, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a renewal, second and final, of a professional service contract with Davy Resource Group Incorporated for the evaluation and vegetation cleaning on detention and retention ponds located within assessed township subdivisions located in Council Districts 1, 4, and 5 for an amount not to exceed $95,000 for the engineer emergency. 2025-129, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a renewal, second and final, of a professional service contract with Emerald Environmental Incorporated for the evaluation and vegetation cleaning on detention and retention ponds located within assessed township subdivisions located in the Council Districts 5 and 8 for a one-year term for an amount not to exceed $95,000 for the engineer emergency. 2025-130, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of agreements for the acquisition of sanitary sewer easements over a portion of Akron-Cleveland Road and Seasons Road for construction of Project Q1651, Akron-Cleveland Road Sanitary Sewer Extension located in Boston Township and Council Districts 1 and 3 for an amount not to exceed $139,855 for the Executive's Department of Sanitary Sewer Services Emergency. 2025-131, a resolution declaring the month of May 2025 as Building Safety Month in Summit County to recognize the importance of building codes and standards as vital safeguards which protect our residents from hazards and support our economic growth and resilience for the Executive's Department of Sanitary Sewer Services, Division of Building Standards Emergency. 2025-132, a resolution authorizing the Third Amendment to the Open-End mortgage, and the First Amendment to the promissory note between the United Way of Summit and Medina counties and the County of Summit for the Sojourner Truth Building at 37 North High Street, located in the city of Akron and Council District 4, to extend the maturity date of the promissory note and amend the payment terms of the promissory note for the Executive's Department of Law and Risk Management Emergency 2025-133, a resolution authorizing the Executive to execute any documents necessary to accept the award from the Ohio Department of Public Safety's Office of Criminal Justice Services of a Drug Law Enforcement Fund grant in the amount of $136,875.02 with a 25% local cash match requirement of $45,625.01 for a total amount of $182,500.03 for the period July 1, 25 through June 30, 26 for the Sheriff Emergency. 2025-134, a resolution authorizing the Executive to execute any documents necessary to accept the award from the Ohio Department of Public Safety's Office of Criminal Justice Services of an Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant for the period January 1, 25 through December 31, 25 in the amount of $90,579.54 with a 25% local cash match requirement of $30,193.18 for a total amount of $120,772.72 for the Sheriff Emergency. 2025-135, a resolution authorizing the Executive to execute a sub-grant agreement with the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services for grants received by the Prosecutor's Child Support Enforcement Agency during state fiscal years 2026 and 2027 for the period July 1, 25 through June 30, 27 for the Prosecutor's Child Support Enforcement Agency Emergency. 2025-136, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a 60-month lease with Quadient Leasing USA Incorporated at state term pricing for electronic certified mail, including software, licensing, subscription, folder management, and support services for the period January 1, 25 through December 31, 29 in an amount not to exceed $100,113.60 for the Clerk of Courts Emergency. 2025-137, a resolution authorizing the Executive to execute a sub-grant agreement with the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services, the Ohio Department of Children and Youth, and the Ohio Department of Medicaid for grants received by the Executive's Department of Job and Family Services during state fiscal years 2026 and 2027 for the period July 1, 25 through June 30, 27 for the Executive's Department of Job and Family Services Emergency. 2025-138, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of professional service contracts with certain vendors for title examination services for the period May 1, 25 through April 30, 27, with one option to renew for an additional 2-year period in an amount not to exceed $250,000 per year for a total amount not to exceed $500,000 for the Fiscal Officer Emergency. 2025-139, a resolution declaring it necessary to submit to the electors of the County of Summit the question of the renewal and increase of an existing tax levy for the purpose of mental health and recovery programs for children, adults, and families for the County Service District and for the acquisition, construction, renovation, financing, maintenance, and operation of the County of Summit Alcohol, Drug, Addiction, and Mental Health Services ADM Board facilities and requesting the fiscal officer to certify to the taxing authority the total current tax valuation of the county and the dollar amount of revenue that would be generated by a specified number of meals emergency.
Madam President, I move to suspend the rules and adopt the routine agenda found on pages 6 through 9.
I have a motion to suspend and adopt routine legislation found on pages 6 through 9. On the suspension, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Second readings, 2025-121, a resolution confirming the award by the Board of Control of a professional service contract with Ward and Associates for appraisal services for the valuation of commercial, industrial, and exempt buildings considered new or altered and land splits of the same classification for the 2025 real estate tax year in an amount not to exceed $154,000 for the fiscal officer emergency.
Can I have a motion? So moved. Mr. Ford moves on 2025-121. All in favor?
Yeah, you have to suspend. Right.
A motion, okay.
Yeah.
Can I have a motion on suspension?
Yeah, I have a motion John, did you say you have a motion to suspend and adopt?
I didn't hear him say that.
Yeah, okay, we didn't hear you down here, sorry about that, John.
Oh, that's good.
I have a
Sorry.
motion to suspend and adopt 2025121 on the suspension, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Any
abstain.
opposed? Motion carries.
I abstain.
John, we're not done.
Can I have
Oh.
a quick second for an announcement?
Yes.
Madam Chair. Okay, Madam President. My name, I just want to remind everybody that our Let's Move Summit County Hike and Bike is coming up on May 17th. I want to make sure that you all have a personal invitation from me to join us that day. RSVPs are due this Friday, May 2nd, so if any of members of council are planning on attending, please reach out to Kent and let him know, and he will RSVP you and any family members that you or friends that you bring with you. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion to go into executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 121-22 to discuss Ohio building security. May I have a motion?
So moved. You have to do a roll call.
Yeah, I know, I didn't get that far yet. Roll call?
Aye.
Aye.
I need to do
Yeah.
the roll call.
Yeah.
Mr. Thank you, though.
Sorry.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Hyam,
Aye.
Mr. Donofrio,
Aye.
Mr. Cajun,
Aye.
Ms. Dickinson, Mr. Ford, Mr. Wilhite,
Aye.
Ms. Darrow,
Aye.
Mr. Lacotte,
Aye.
Ms. McKinney, Ms. Walters.
Okay, and at this time, we're going to turn off the recordings, and I'm asking the audience to please leave the chambers. You may come back after. Right, and get, yeah. John, you're just jumping the gun. The only ones that will be remaining here are the ones that have been invited, which fiscal office has been invited and child support, correct? And then